And many times in my past leadership, running retail organizations and small groups and even leading small groups that weren't necessarily work organizations, they were just collectives of people that were gathering together to study or to discuss a topic. I've encountered that kind of individual who doesn't really want to play along with the team nicely. Maybe they need that shirt that we used to wear as labels that doesn't play nicely with others. Maybe you've seen that on your kindergartner coming home, doesn't play nicely with others. But I've had individuals and organizations that should be wearing that as their t-shirt, as their label, even as grown-ups. Doesn't play nicely with others. They don't really want to be led, and they really don't want to lead. They just want to disrupt whatever's going on. So if there's any kind of camaraderie, they want to be a thorn in the side to that camaraderie. That kind of person is what we're going to talk about today on Leading Leaders. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. And maybe you've encountered that kind of person. They don't really want to go along with the program. Whatever the program is, they don't care what the program is. They don't want to go along with it. They don't really want to be led in a direction to grow or to improve. They don't really want to be a better person than they have been. They don't really want to grow up into new ideas. No, they don't want any of that. What they really want is to disrupt. Now, if you've ever led an organization where that individual is a part of your team and they just want to disrupt and they just want to cause problems and they want to bring up drama about other people in the group, or they want to bring up drama that's absolutely not even related to the group, they just want to bring up drama. Maybe you've heard them referred to as the person who just stirs the pot. Well, there's a lot of pot stirrers out there. They got nothing better to do with their time. They feel like their level of influence, their purpose in this life is to grind away at everybody else. We call it the pot stirrer because you think of the old witch in front of the big black kettle and she's just mixing up. And some people would say there's something specific in that pot. We won't go into that. But I picture more, not the stirring of the pot. While there's some truth to that, I picture the old making of maize where they would take the dried corn and they would put it into the stone bowl, and then they would use the stone grinder. Then they would smash at the corn that was in there until it became a flour of sorts. That to me really is more like what we get with that grinding and that stirring. It breaks people up. It breaks up the relationship. It changes the texture of everything, and it destroys leadership. Not just the leadership and the inspiration and the motivation that the leader may have to keep the organization going in a certain direction. It destroys the ability, the cohesiveness of that organization moving in a certain direction. Whatever goals, whatever ambitions, whatever attempts they might have to accomplish something, it's going to be under the pressure of that grindstone. It's going to face a whole lot of pressure just to try to move forward. And there's really nothing you can do about it except get rid of the grindstone. You can eventually run that person off, make them feel uncomfortable in such a way that they will leave, or they will simply stop trying to influence your group in that way. The other thing that you can do is simply ask them to leave. All right, look, you're not a benefit to our organization. Maybe the most powerful thing that you can do for your group, for your individual, for your organization is to creatively help them find a better job opportunity somewhere else. Help them find another small group to attend. Help them find a place that they can grow, maybe even on their own. And it's hard to say sometimes because as a leader, we feel like we have a level of responsibility to help everyone grow. We feel like we are responsible for their success or lack thereof. We feel like we have to pour into them in some way. And we should have responsibility to those that we lead, but we don't have responsibility for those that we lead. We should be able to lean into their lives and put enough pressure on the who that they are that they would say, oh, you're right, I want to be more like this. But if we take on the responsibility for their life, then we find ourselves instead holding on to our success tied to their accomplishment. That's not a good thing, because For someone who loves to grind on your group, the person who gets their thrills, their kicks, their success, their motivation out of wounding, destroying, damaging others, usually it's a person who looks at others as more successful than them. These are the crabs in the barrel that we discuss all the time. These are the people who are looking up at you going, oh, you're about to get away. You're about to succeed. You're about to move on to the next thing, either individually or as a group, and they will grab you by your ankle and yank you back down in the barrel. That's the same kind of person that has that grindstone, or they are the grindstone, and they're just grinding up the success of your group. Or you're going to have to get rid of them. You're going to have to dump out the barrel and start over with people who want to climb. You're going to have to get rid of the grindstone and start over again if you want to see the growth. Now, genuinely, there is some grinding that's necessary on all of our growth path. All of us need to be smashed a little bit. We all need to be put through the grist, if you will, from time to time. We all have some things in our own personal lives and our own leadership cycle that we need to be better at. I took a leadership assessment yesterday that pointed out 4 or 5 things that said you seem to be doing really good at those, for as truthful as I was on the assessment, I guess. But there were also some questions that came back and said, here's some growth areas you need to work on. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. Well, I wouldn't have thought of myself as negative in that area, but I guess I need to review that. If the analysis says you could grow there, I want to grow there. We all need to realize that somewhere in our life there's a place we need to grow, whether it's relationships or it's our level of hope or whatever it is. We need to grow, and we need to go through the pain of that growth, just like going to the gym. It isn't fun, it isn't easy while you're there, but when you leave you feel a lot better, and you're glad after the pain has gone away that you've put in the work to do the growth, to keep yourself healthy, to keep yourself alive, to build your muscles, to build your strength, to build your immune system. Well, leadership is very much the same way. You're going to find there are those who grind on you that you need to get rid of, and there are those that grind on you and you need them in your life. As a leader, you've got to be able to discern. Are these people in your group who will not lead and they will not be led? If that's the case, get rid of them. If these people are in your group and they're both leading others and being led, but sometimes they put the grind on you, you may just need to accept the grind. The key to leadership is knowing the difference. And that's my challenge for you today. Know the difference between those in your group who will not lead, they will not be led, they just put the grind on everybody, versus those who are both leading others and being led, but they put the grind on you to be a better leader. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.